What's up? How you doing? Here we are, evening, and it's a beautiful evening today. Very nice. I don't see a breeze. I don't see it. So I have a beer here. I've never had it before. Established 1600s. Trapel Carmelet, I think is the way they pronounce it. I may be wrong, but that's what I see. 1679 established. Product of Belgium. Anybody knows anything about Belgium? Belgium has probably the world's best beers. Now, it's a little bit pricey. $27.99 for 4 beers. $27.99 from the store. Got a cold cup here, straight out of the freezer. And I had this in the freezer for a little bit so I can lower the temperature. So we'll give it a try here. Good color. Good color. I don't want to spill it. Smells nice. That's a very good smelling beer. So we'll let it settle here for a minute, and then we'll try it. But it's supposed to be really good. I got it at a fancy store, and they don't carry any old beer. They don't even carry Schlitz. Look at that. Lipton. Remember this guy here? So this is very old. Very old. It's tin. Now it's empty inside, but this is where I store my Lipton tea. Lipton, the brisk tea. Tea, it says America's favorite tea. I guess this is, what's it say here? Thomas J. Lipton. Something like that. I'll look him up. We have the internet, right? Oh, look at that. I love tea. And you know, I find Lipton to be very nice tea. Has a good foam, good head. We'll give it a try. A lot of foam there. Got to get it to settle down a bit. Very, very good. Very good beer. We have some prime steaks here. I was just at the butcher shop just now. So these are good looking steaks. Good marbling, nice and thick, very tender. So check this good steak. Salt and pepper, and today I bought a little bit of sauce. If anybody is interested, I have some sauce. Kick and Ash barbecue sauce. It says put a little salt in your mouth. But this is really good steak. A little pepper, salt, Himalayan salt, which is once again really Pakistani salt. I don't know why they, I mean, okay, it sounds impressive, the Himalayan salt, but it's Pakistani salt. And we flip them over. And we repeat the process. All right, we let it sit for a while, get the salt to absorb on the top layer, and then I have the fire going, because one of the ingredients is fire. All right, and then I will try. This is, I asked the guy, is this hot? I like hot. He said, it's hot, but not too hot. Needs a muffler. Needs a muffler. So I'm gonna wait for that grill to heat up. Cheers. Drink in moderation only. You're not going to enjoy alcohol if you drink too much. It's a poison. You know, you can drink a little bit, it's all right. But if you drink too much and you can't find your room at night, you know, and never ever drive drunk. Drunk driving is not cool. Not cool. You know, my whole life, never drove drunk. Ever, ever, ever. Never. Never. You know, you go somewhere, you have a beer like a human. Don't drink like an animal. You drink one beer, you know, if you're there 2 hours, a couple of beers, that's it. If you want to have more, go home. Fill up your refrigerator, go in the living room, dining room, whatever, have more. But when you go out, 2 beers maximum, if you're there a couple of hours. You know, remember, a 150-pound man takes 1 hour to process one beer. Now, one beer is not going to get you lit, but you know, when you go out with your meal, you know, 1-2 beers, a couple hours, that's it. You don't want to end up wrapped around a telephone pole. So yeah, this is not bad. Not bad. Belgian beer. German beer. Australia has a lot of beer drinkers in Australia, down under. I saw a movie one time with my bride. It was called In Fright. In Fright. Very strange movie. Probably the strangest movie I've ever seen besides Basket Case. In Fright. You have to see it to know what I'm talking about, but there's a lot of weird scenes shot in Australia, in the outback, which I'd love to visit one day. We'll see. It's on my bucket list. But yeah, very strange movie. And I saw the movie with the director. Yeah, I saw the movie with the director. So 2 memorable occasions. I saw In Fright. What's his name there? Kochkov? Ted. Right, I saw it with him. He was there. I got to, you know, speak with him. We had a conversation there, and I saw the movie, and really I appreciated the movie. They thought that movie was lost. You know, last copy burned down or whatever, and then they found a container somewhere in some studio, and inside the container was a copy of the film, and they remastered it and ended up seeing it with him. Very nice guy. And you know, if anybody knows anything about him, he also directed First Blood Part 1, the First Blood movie, the good one. So I was very excited to meet him. And then John Alverson, who directed Rocky, also the Karate Kid. I got to see Rocky with him in a theater many years ago. So we saw Rocky with him, and then I got to talk to him. And We were talking about Rocky Balboa, the movie that came out just before the time I had met him, and I said to him, you know, I couldn't understand. I said why Stallone did not include Talia Shire in the beginning, at least, and show, you know, her with him but sick, and then there's a scene where she passes away and all that. I said to him, I think that would have been a better approach than just, you know, to open the movie up and Adrian's not there. And he said to me that when Stallone had written the movie, he called him up and he said to him, this is my idea, you know, I just want to pass it by you and see what you think. And I said, this is John Alverson. He said to Stallone on the phone, he goes, I really think you should have a scene with Talia Shire at the beginning, showing her struggling and, you know, passing on, and then you begin the story. And he said, I told him that, and he said, yeah, I don't want to do that. So me and him agreed that that was not a good idea. But yeah, you know, that's a good memory. And I saw Rocky with him in a theater not too far from here. Very, very cozy place. But yeah, I got to speak to him, and good memory. Karate Kid 2, I enjoyed that. But that movie spoke to me too, the first one. The other ones were not that great, but you know, each one got a little bit worse. You know, second one was all right, third one got a little bit worse, fourth one. But anyway, I appreciated that movie. Even though I'm not into the karate stuff, you know, I like the movie. But there was another movie I saw, was Joe, the movie Joe. Got to see it with him. And I did see a movie with Hugh Hefner in the audience. Got to see Hugh Hefner live and in person. I even went to the bathroom when Hugh Hefner was there. It happened to be that way. Very slow walker. I was right behind him. It was like, can you move a little faster? I'm kidding. Yeah, so I saw this movie. It was a weird movie. So he basically gave money to restore the entire movie frame by frame. And I forget the name of it. I got to look it up. It was some, like, it was like an African movie or something. I don't know if it was called, I forget the name of it now. I have to look it up. But it was a strange movie, and he was in the audience and had to go to the bathroom for, you know, a few minutes, a minute, whatever. And he was there in front of me, and then went to wash my hands and everything, and then he was coming out, and he had a couple of guys helping him, you know, navigate his way through. So, time to put these on the fire. Today I went up to Devil's Punch Bowl area. I didn't actually go to Devil's Punch Bowl today. I went a little bit further over, and was doing a little hiking, a little walking around. And then I found a tunnel. Every so often I find a tunnel. So I don't know if you can see any of that. They're gonna fall off. So I cooked the steaks about 5 or 6 minutes each side at around 700 degrees, 750 around there. And then once I get a crust going, then I'll do like a minute and a half again. I flip them, you know, so I get the crossbars. I don't overcook them. And that is why I don't buy thin steaks, because thin steaks, they're hard to cook the right way. You know, they cook too fast. Nice night though. Nice night, nice night. Every time I think about it, I'm like, yeah, I actually have a tent here. You know, and here's my philosophy on tents. If a tent says good for 2 people, divide that by 2. it's good for one person. If it says it's good for 6 people, once again divided by 2, it's good for 3. And even then, maybe it's a little bit tight. But you know, best thing to do is get a tent that says for 6 people, and maximum have 2 people if you have to have. Me, I prefer 6 people tents. Just me. Just me. Want to have the room in there, you know. Nice mattress, put some air in it. Nice sleeping bag that's ranked or rated for -20 degrees Fahrenheit. And just enjoy the night. But, you know, when I do that, bring some nice steaks. Nice steaks. Build a fire out there in the middle of nowhere, up on a mountain, preferably. Even in the middle of the desert is fine with me. You know, away from civilization. And then cook the steaks. Maybe have 2 steaks per person, and enjoy it. You know, I've said this story before, but you know, I still find it ridiculous. I used to hike with these guys. You know, they would go off and they'd call me and I'd go with them. And now they're older. But one time we went up to a really tall mountain, and the week before we had gone hiking somewhere else, and they kept mentioning, you know, that, you know, oh yeah, next week we'll go overnight. We'll stay overnight. And one guy was saying, yeah, I'll bring, you know, some vegetables. The other guy was saying, I'll bring some nuts. And then the other guy was saying, I want to bring some steaks. Filet mignon, he kept saying. So I go, not bad. You know, and I brought some stuff. So the night comes, we did this hiking thing. It was a really, really strenuous hike. We ended up way up on the top of the mountain. And they started cooking. And I'm like, get some filet mignon here, you know, some good stuff. I hear people. So anyway, they're cooking, and then all of a sudden they start passing out the food. And I get mine and I'm looking at it. And what they did was brought filet mignon, a steak, and they cut it into little pieces, like little tiny splinters, basically. And then they put a little bit of sauce in that, and everybody got about a cup of that. With, you know, I felt like I was eating a toothpick-sized steak, little pieces of splinters, and everybody was like eating it and pretending to enjoy it. I'm like, okay, next time I will bring the steaks and I will carry them up, because everybody was complaining, oh yeah, you know, you couldn't, because I said, oh, this is the steak, and they go, yeah, you can't really bring, you know, a steak for everybody because it's too heavy. It's not that heavy, you know. I mean, 1 pound, 16 ounces, you can't handle that. So they brought one little teeny weeny steak like that. There were like 6 of us, and they cut that steak into tiny splinters, and then they sprinkled it into some sauce, and they cooked it, and everybody got a little bit. So I go, yeah, that's not cool. It's ridiculous. So yeah, anyway, that's the way they were. And then they brought hot dogs. So somebody brought hot dogs, and they boiled them in a pan with water. And then we each got a hot dog, which I was very, very happy for that, because I was hungry. So we eat the hot dogs, and now there's water left over in the pan. And guy says to me, you want some coffee? And I said, sure. So he pours me the coffee, and then he says to me, by the way, he goes, we use the hot dog water to make the coffee with. And I said, oh, I see. I said, okay, even that, next time I will bring the water. We hike up here, I'll bring the water, and I'll bring the food, the steaks, since you guys are having a hard time with it. So I drank coffee made with hot dog water. Not that sharp. It was not that good at all. I did not appreciate it. I'd rather get a little more tired and carry the steaks up, you know, than have what they had. Plus, if everybody, you know, brought their own steak, that's just a pound extra. pound extra of weight. You know, it's not that big of a deal. But anyway, if I go hiking and then set up a tent, I'm gonna bring 2-3 steaks. I'm gonna cook them, nice fire. You know, the next day I'm gonna have eggs and, you know, maybe hash browns or something in the morning. Anyway, that's it. That's it. I'm gonna cook now, and we're gonna eat. Capiche?